Diese Lektion heißt, wie spät ist es? Und jetzt lernst du how to tell time in German, times of day in German, and the differences in how we tell time in the United States in comparison to how Germans tell time. First, let's talk about die Uhr. You learned in Kapitel 2 that Uhr heißt Clock auf Deutsch. The word is also used to tell time in the same way English uses o'clock. To say the time, simply say the number of the hour followed by the word Uhr. Zum Beispiel, es ist 2 Uhr bedeutet it is 2 o'clock, and es ist 10 Uhr bedeutet it is 10 o'clock. To add minutes, say them after you say the word Uhr. Zum Beispiel, es ist 3:14 Uhr bedeutet it is 3:14, and es ist 8:22 Uhr bedeutet it is 8:22. Notice that German keeps the word Uhr when you add minutes, even though in English we often drop the o'clock. Now the video will pause. Take a couple minutes to try your hand at telling time in German. Something that is different in Germany and much of Europe is that they use the 24-hour clock. As you know, there are 24 hours in a day. In German, the word for hour is Stunde. They tend to use the 24-hour clock so as not to confuse AM with PM. That means for all PM times, you add 12. Therefore, 1 p.m. is 13 Uhr, 3 p.m. is 15 Uhr, and 6 p.m. is 18 Uhr, and so on. It is not an absolute necessity to use it. If you suggest to your friends to meet at the library at 3 Uhr, they will assume you mean 3 p.m. and not 3 a.m. But it is something you will encounter frequently in Germany whenever there is a schedule, such as movie times, bus train arrivals, departures, class schedules, and so on. Sprich wie die Deutsche. Here are some tips to talk like a German. Bedeutet at. So if describing when you are doing something, say at 10 o'clock, it sounds nice to say 10 Uhr. Vor und nach bedeuten before and after, respectfully. It sounds more colloquial and less of a mouthful to say 10 Minuten vor 9 or 10 vor 9 for 10 to 9. You can say 8:50 Uhr, but 10 vor 9 is a bit quicker. You can also say Viertel for quarter to say Viertel nach 6 for quarter after 6. The last colloquialism is halb, which means half. Now, one major difference is that Germans express 30 as half to the following hour. So to say 6:30, Germans will say halb 7 or half 7. Or to say 4:30, Germans will say halb 5. Here's a helpful diagram of the times in German. Feel free to pause or rewind this video to find this photo. I believe you can also use it on Google by searching Wie spät ist es? Now, using what you just heard, try telling time like a German. Let's talk time of day. They are for the most part similar to English. With a little bit of practice, you'll remember all of them. Morgen heißt morning, and if you want to say in the morning, simply add am. Am specifically means on the, if you were ever curious. You can also express morning by saying Vormittag, which literally means before noon, since Mittag means noon or midday. Consequently, Nachmittag means afternoon, and you can add am to say in the afternoon. Onto the dark side of the day. Abend means evening, and you can add am to it as well. However, Nacht is the word for night. Because it is feminine, it acts a little differently. For the rare occasion you are doing something at night, you'll say in der Nacht instead of adding am. And for the even rarer occasion you are up at late, dear students, you can use Mitternacht for midnight, or Mitternacht if you want to be specific. Here's an example of a timeline. 6 Uhr stehe ich auf. At 6 o'clock I stand up, which Germans use to say get up from bed. 6:30 frühstücke ich. At 6:30 I breakfast. Dann gehe ich 7 Uhr in die Schule. Then at 7 o'clock I go to school. 2:45 gehe ich nach Hause. 3:15 I go home. Dann lerne ich am Abend Vokabeln. Then I study vocabulary in the evening. Not the whole evening, just some time in the evening. Was machst du jeden Tag? What do you do every day? At the end of this lesson, you'll be able to tell everyone with ease. Therefore, Glückwunsch! Du hast die Zeit auf Deutsch gelernt.